On this season 5 premiere episode of He Said, She Heard, we get our wonk on. What do I mean by that? Today I get to shoot the breeze with singer Wonky Tonk to talk about her journey and passion through music. Wonky also appears in the comedy skit called Bullying Sucks alongside Mattia, Signaroldi, Kayleigh Allen, and of course yours truly. All this and more on the season 5 premiere of He Said, She Heard. Besides listening to us from any corner of the world, you know that you can watch us too.
È possibile vedere anche il video di questo episodio collegandovi sul sito www.hesaidSheHeard.com.
If you want to watch this episode, you can head over to our website, www.hesaidSheHeard.com.
Listen to the Fox Podcast. Let me put it back.
She heard a silly noise. I know what's going on. He said that's not what happened. Girl, you got it wrong. He said she heard about what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
He said she heard about what's going on. About what's going on.
Hey, Foxer!
This episode is made possible in part by Load Boost. Besides being a great supplement for men's sexual health, Load Boost increases semen volume, orgasm intensity, and increases ejaculation power. It also just generally makes orgasms feel better for men. You can try Load Boost today, risk-free, by going to www.loadboost.com and using promo code HSSH for a discount. Or click in the link in the episode description, as it helps our podcast. Listen to more about Load Boost during this episode. Rising Star presents I Met Jesus. The pre-NFT collection features the world's most expensive photograph called Church Grounds, along with billion-dollar digital images of incredible spiritual quality and significance. Rising Star, the innovative house based in New York City, presents the timeless art collection entitled I Met Jesus, which includes several limited sub-collections. The main director of Rising Star is James Dennis, and he carefully curated this timeless collection. A Rising Star spokesperson said, "The work is the result of years of curation and divine alignment. It's an honor to help revive the church in a way that is unique from the norm." You can learn more about the world's most expensive photograph by going to Mena FM and searching for I Met Jesus. And stay tuned for the collection called Jesus Showed Me a Split Sea. Secure this digital asset today. Thank you for joining us for this episode of He Said, She Heard, which may end up being your favorite. So don't forget to click the share and subscribe buttons, and also to keep this international comedy and music show going and growing, there's a Become a Patron button. When you click the Become a Patron button, you'll see there's perks for supporting the show that's brought to you from 3 different countries. Listen, share, support. Back to the show now.
Folks ready for countries, we bring you this show.
Welcome to the season 5 premiere of He Said, She Heard. I'm Mike Fox, and I am ready to get my wonk on. Are you? All right, if this episode were a sandwich and it had its own special kind of spread, it would be my next guest, who spreads her love all over this episode by not only sitting here with me virtually, but also acting and singing in the audio skit called Bullying Sucks. My next guest is an award-winning songstress from Kentucky. Her music is so genuine yet sweet, charming yet outside of the box, with great songs like Wonk On, I Don't Mind It's Suitors. Your mind will go for a wild ride if it hasn't already gone for one, if you haven't already heard the music of this guest sitting right here with me. She is Wonky Tonk. Hi, Wonky, how are you?
I am thrilled. How are you?
I am equally thrilled. The feeling is 110% mutual.
Yes.
So tell us about your journey through music, how it all came together, how you created this Wonky Tonk genre. It's your own genre, because I hear so many sounds mixed into one, and it's your sound though. That's what I hear when I listen to your music. I'm a huge fan, by the way.
you are the diamond in the rough. Never have I ever had someone come to that conclusion on their own. They're always befuddled by the fact they cannot put it into a genre. And so then try to force me there. And so you saying that is just like, I've arrived. I've met someone that gets it.
Absolutely. I mean, I hear some influences, but yet at the same time, I don't. It's a kind of a paradox. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much. And I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm
Thank
not
you for
even going
being
to
that
name
person.
the people that I might hear in there, but I hear you is what I hear. That's who I hear, because you put your personality into it. You put you into it. You put yourself, your stories into it, and people connect with it, because that's what music is. It's an emotional experience. And as I was preparing for today's interview, I was rocking out to some of your latest songs, and I just, my mind went on a wild ride. And that's what music is all about. And that's something that's such lacking in modern music, but your music just takes us for a ride. It gives us a little bit of the old school, but it's reminding us where we are at the same time.
I love you.
I love you too.
It's so good. It's so good. I feel like that really, beyond anything, that touches my heart and my soul, because one of the longest journeys of my life has been my relationship to music and
Yes.
music and what it's taught me. And I think that in terms of genre and creating songs, the very abridged version is in 2019, I decided through a dream that came in my left ear. Usually it happens like this voice that happens. And I went to Ecuador to this tantric yoga and shamanic arts school. Why? Because it came in a dream. This is not any of my language. And this and that and these and those, mostly because I was touring like 250 nights a year. And people just kept, well, you really need to change your name. It's confusing. There is no, you don't really fit into a genre. That's a problem. We don't know what to do with you. That's a problem. And it's like, why is that a problem? I feel like it's a thousand ways you can use this. How is it a problem? And that really, after a while, starts to wear on you. And I started to just hate music. And I knew that was not what it was, because I love music and music loves me. And it's part of just learning that songs are, for me, very much, I call them my diaries, especially now, where I'm just like, everything that I process, I'll write 7 songs a day almost.
Wow.
I'm just throwing that number out a lot,
Yeah.
And it's just how I'm processing the world. And then some of them really have a melodic thing about them. It's like, actually, that's a great universal message. How do we just create a melody where that's palatable for everyone? Because it's not music per se, it's folklore and lessons and authenticity and the stuff that flows and the vulnerability. And I think the biggest part is, that's why I love that you get it, because it takes, I always say Wonky Tonk's a slow burn, because it takes someone who's willing to listen to themselves in order to hear Wonky Tonk. There's nothing deep in there, but it becomes so much more colorful if you can look at yourself in the mirror. You can hear Wonky Tonk, and that becomes whatever you need it to be, And I love that hit you too, and it's just magical.
It did. it right in the corazon, the heart. Yeah, it just got me right here, Wonky, because it's an emotional journey that music takes you on. And as I said before, that's one thing that's lacking in some music, except maybe in some indie rock. And I do hear some indie rock in there as well. But then I hear a little bit of that funky wonky tonk too, and honky tonk stuff that's old school, which I like that too. A little bit of, I'm not going to name names, because you are the genre. It's you, because we got to think about the future, because so many times I'll turn on modern rock stations and classic rock stations, and these songs they're playing are wonderful, but I want to hear something new. That's why I listen to you, because as I'm rediscovering every song I've listened to, honestly, I was listening to the song Cleveland yesterday.
Let's run, we're going home. Oh, let's run, we're going home. 'Cause we've got songs to sing.
And it reminded me of taking trips to that particular city in Ohio and remembering what it was like. And my mind went there, especially as I was listening to the lyrics. So that's what music is all about. It's very distinct. It's not abstract, but yet it's very artistic as well. It's like looking at a nice painting.
I'm so grateful that I think not to be an overused trope, but it takes one to know one, right? Like this part. Thanks for being willing to let yourself go on journeys, you know?
Absolutely. You know, because I think a lot of it, not just music, but comedy as well, always comes from a place of pain. So
Yes.
any type of thing that I've written, or even if it's not something in the comedic realm, it comes from a place of hurt. Because I was just finishing a stage play that took me 12 years to write. And a lot of that came from places of being hurt, you know, and I was looking back, and when I started writing the play, my father was still alive. He died a couple years in the middle of me writing it. But his inspiration is something that lives on in me forever. And that's something that always comes across in music, in different types of songs. You start hearing certain ghosts from the past come up in a haunting way, but yet at the end, you're getting a sense of relief. And that's what I experience, not just here, but that's what I experience when I listen to Wonky Tonk.
I love that. And thank you for sharing that about your dad and that process. You know,
Yes.
So I just did a podcast the other day, and the guy's like, so do you think you create in all these ways because you're often bored? And I was like, I don't know if I've ever been bored in my life.
No.
It's more that I call it like my Brita filter, you know, there's
Yes.
just so much literal shit happening all of the
Yes.
time that to create, and especially through comedy, like to be able to be able to delve into pain and then bring levity from it. Like
Yes.
this is comedy is one of the genres of art and creation that I just respect beyond belief, because when you can do it right, you do it right. A lot of times it comes in the pain and people get stuck there, right? And it's
Yes.
like self-deprecating, and that's like, okay, there's a certain realm of that, but if you can bring your lessons from that, then that comedy it's timeless. And that's like a great song, that's like a great painting. And I love things like this medium that we get to in our respective areas of creation and turning shit into gold. We get to share and realize that like we're just doing it and we're still doing it. And I think that's really important. Like as kids, you might have a lot of energy to do these things, but as life goes on, I've just realized it just gets heavier and heavier. All the things that happen on the outside are now carrying on the inside. And the fact that we're at the age we are still creating, especially for you, like creating this like super levity and this teamwork thing you swirled, like
Yes.
I'm all alone in this swirling. So that's why I'm also really excited to meet you and explore, because it's like, yes, someone else who's still playing.
Well, it's funny how this all came together, because when I had gotten your email, because this is like, I think the second or third time we tried to make this happen, but it was perfect timing, because I had an idea for a script, and the Italian multi-instrumentalist that does the music for the show, I had an idea where, okay, I'm going to play an Italian guy and I'm going to be his brother. And we're at a country bar and everyone's hating us, kind of like they did in the Blues Brothers when they were throwing bottles at them. That was a big inspiration for this skit. But then as I saw you, I thought, okay, this could work in two ways, having the interview and then having her in a skit. When I asked you to do it and you said, sure, you know, you more than willingly to sing as well. I was so excited, and it just came together. And there's one particular line, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to play it in a little bit. The way you said it, you had the right emphasis. It was like a movie almost.
I love it. And that's again, just much respect to you for being willing to create and then being like, you know what, I'll just ask to be all these parts. People either see me and they're like, this is a country songwriter and she's so sad and belongs in this place, and it's like, I love to do all the things, and I'm always asking people to play with me and they're just like, I don't really understand. So to have someone else be like, you want to try this, it's like, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Of course I do. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the idea, but inspiration behind this too, is the name of this skit we're about to play for everyone is called Bullying Sucks. I was bullied a lot in school and bullied as an adult, and I hate when I see people that are very kind being taken advantage of. So there's a serious message behind all of this, but I'm not going to spoil it. But the women, well, I actually am. You're going to hear the women may be the heroes in this skit. So I hope everybody enjoys it. This is called Bullying Sucks. This is Wonky Tonk sings and acts in this episode, playing the role of Jennifer. So we're going to play the skit in its entirety and hope you all enjoy this wild ride we're going to take you on.
Oh yeah.
Here we are. We got this.
It's happening.
This is the story of Old Country, which began as an Italian synthesizer pop duo consisting of Giovanni and Emiliano Correctapleci. After very, very moderate success, the brothers left their old country of Italy to head to the United States. The duo embarked on a U.S. tour at various roadhouses, dives, coffee shops, and home and garden shows across America. Their biggest mistake was beginning their tour in the heart of Texas. Or was it their best decision that would catapult them into the stratosphere? It all started at Hank's Bar. Luckily, we have a recording of that fateful night when a duo became a quartet. Oh man, look how packed this place is tonight, Cletus. Woo! You can say that again, Hank. Woo! All these cowgirls here are gonna make some cowboys happy tonight after they finally hear some live music at this place now that the socialist ban on gatherings is lifted. Woo! You think the band is gonna get lucky too? Probably. You see, Cletus, musicians always get lucky. Like Draft Punk and Pharrell Williams. Is how do you say their names? I wouldn't know, Hank. But not with these lovely bartenders that I'm about to talk to. Howdy, Melissa. Howdy, Johnny.
What's going on, Hank? Is the band on the way?
I think I see two dudes coming in the door. I reckon that's who they are. Hook them up with whatever they want to drink and bill them at the end like they did in Blues Brothers. You ever seen that, Cletus?
That's not very nice, Hank. Whatever happened to Southern hospitality?
Let's get something straight, Melissa. This is my bar. And so is that American-made truck in the parking lot with those custom-made rims and mud flaps. So y'all best charge them, or you two kind-hearted sweethearts can find another bar to work at. Howdy. Howdy.
Hank is so mean.
I know. Melissa, why do those guys have synthesizers for?
Maybe those modern marvels of intervention can churn out a banjo or slide sound that's close to the real thing.
Please meet the band Old Country. Okay, which one's old and which one's country? Hey, you both look young, actually. Let me head to the stage to warm up the crowd with some Hank stand-up.
Hi, what would you guys like?
2 beers, please.
And thank you.
They got accents, Jenny.
Can I get it? I can't no time, but I can up again. And they're gonna keep Hank down, that's right. Well, we got a little joke for you here. An Irishman left the bar. Well, that's a joke. Well, hopefully in a few seconds or two, y'all be getting up from your tables and bar stools, away from the pool tables, dartboards, so y'all can tap a rug. Hank, it's cut a rug, not tap a rug. Oh, sorry. Good catch there. Cut a rug to some great old-fashioned boot-tapping country music. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Old Country.
Hank, are you sure those guys play country? They look like they're pretty to whip it like Devo.
Melissa, look, their band name is Old Country. I reckon they could belt out some Travis Tritt covers, especially playing behind that chicken wire.
Good evening! It's so great to finally come to America.
Wait a minute, I'm just noticing their accents, especially here in the heart of Texas. Maybe their accents dissolve into twangs when they start singing, Hank. Let's hope so, Cletus. Otherwise their mouths will look like yours at the end of the night. Kidding me? I love using a toothbrush instead of a teeth brush. Let's work. Yeah, phew.
He then thought our Italian accents make us sound different. Inside all of us, we are the same, right?
What?
Here's our latest single!
This sucks.
We're all the same.
That doesn't sound like Travis Tritt.
We're all the same, but different. We're all the same. We're all the same. We're all the same, but different. We're all the same. We're all the same. We're all the same, but different.
We're different but the same. There's no need to be insane.
From different walks of life. It's not a shock that we are all the same.
We are all the same. We are all the same. We are all the same, but different. We are all the same. We are all the same. We are all the same, but different.
They are throwing bottles at us.
Get off the stage. Even darts and pool sticks, no.
That's it, Melissa. Let's hit the stage.
What you playing that devil's music for?
Stop, everyone.
You best move out of the way, ladies. We would never.
Of course you wouldn't. That's why we're here. How dare you threaten the safety of these nice men here? Bullying sucks, right, Jenny?
Say it again, girlfriend.
Thank you, ladies. Who is that man on the dartboard?
Chris Gaines. Well, Garth Brooks, actually. Before the turn of the century, Garth recorded a pre-soundtrack LP as part of a movie deal he had. He was casted to play an Australian rock star in a Hollywood movie.
It sounds exciting. What happened?
After they released the fictional Greatest Hits album of him as Gaines on vocals, this led to an outrage amongst country music fans. They falsely accused Garth of having alter ego. Needless to say, the movie never was made.
That's a shame.
Well, we want you men to get out of here alive. And there's only one way out.
How?
If those electronic instruments create backup music for Jenny and I to sing along with, you might just make it out of here alive.
Jamo certainly can, Emiliano. Cambia la tua macchina in paese e io cambierò la mia in occidentale.
Si, pronto. They're speaking Mexican to each other. We changed the settings for both machines to country and western.
Groovy. All right. Here's the sheet music, guys. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now that's more like it.
In this world, there's different kinds of folks, different kinds of shows, different kinds of jokes. But who's to say which one is better? They're all the same, just different letters. Be kind to everyone you meet. Be true to the company you keep. And be kind to everyone you meet. Be kind to everyone you meet.
In this world, there's beggars and choosers. Then we decide who's the winner or the loser.
What does it matter if you step in dog too? It all smells the same, even in expensive boots. So be kind to everyone you meet. Be true to the company you keep. And be kind to everyone you meet. and be kind to everyone you meet.
Hate is overrated, runs out like cheap fuel. Love makes your tractor run faster than a mule. That may not make sense, but neither does hate. Bullying sucks. Who cares where your truck was made?
Hey!
So be kind to everyone you meet.
That wasn't nice, Melissa.
Be true to the company you keep.
And be kind to everyone.
That was in there. That's right.
Be kind to everyone you meet.
Thanks, impressed. Hey, that wasn't bad. Man, Jenny and Melissa, I regret never letting you guys hit the stage before. You guys are good. I suppose an apology is long overdue. Well, that song put a tear in my beer.
If I were you guys, I'd make your next stop in Austin, where synth pop isn't considered taboo.
It's all right if we didn't follow your lead tonight. We would have ended on that dartboard on top of Chris. Guys, that was great music. I apologize on behalf of the whole bar for being so narrow-minded. Now, that beer you already drank is on the house. But before you take a leak, I'd split because the rest of the bar didn't have the same sort of epiphany as Cletus and I. Listen, there's a trap door underneath the stage. Go.
We're going too. Let's go, Melissa.
After surviving the Hank's Bar fiasco, Old Country now had 4 members. Jenny and Melissa were playing on lead vocals, with Giovanni and Emiliano correctoplecci now backing the band. But they didn't mind, especially when the 4 of them got married. Their anti-bullying music went on to encourage people to open their hearts and minds. Garth Brooks even joined them on tour, as both himself and also a younger hologram of him playing the Chris Gaines character. Wow, you hear that, Hank? I didn't know they were recording that night. Not only is Old Country famous, but I guess we're famous too. Someone was recording all that at the bar. How'd they pick up our voices so clearly? I don't know, Cletus. A lot of things work really well, and you don't know how they work, they just do. Woo! But I know how load boost works. Load boost? What you talking about, Hank? Oh, you never heard load boost before? Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Load boost is a supplement for sexual men's health that, among other things, increases semen volume, orgasm intensity, and increases ejaculation power. It also generally makes orgasms feel better for us men. Well, really, well, you know, sometimes when I meet somebody here at the bar, and things go well, I just noticed that it starts and ends too quick, Hank. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying, but I had that same issue with my wife until I used this load boost, Cletus. So aside from helping you shoot ridiculous porn star loads, Load Boost premium blend of active ingredients, pygium, sal palmetto, zinc, and other supporting nutrients is formulated to improve prostate health and function. Oh, wow. So, it just doesn't make sex great. It also makes choking the chicken better, right? Oh, yeah. You see, because what happened is, Cletus, it's packed with vitamins and minerals that are actually great for your prostate. Because remember, you were saying you had some prostate issues before? Oh, yeah, I'll remember that, Hank. Customers really love Load Boost. Cletus, 88% of people leave a 5-star review on Judge Me, a third-party reviewing platform that only accepts reviews from verified purchases. That's right. Just like the beer at our bar here, we only serve the best. And that's why I'm also going to have Load Boost right here at the bar for people to try. You could try Load Boost today. That's right, people here at the bar. Hank's talking risk-free. That's right, you can try it risk-free, okay? Head over to www.loadboost.com and use the promo code HSSH for a discount. Or click in the link in the episode description as it helps this podcast. What's a podcast? Oh, come on. You just listed yourself on one, Cletus. Low boost will not only make her go, oh my God, OMG, but it'll make you go, whoo, 1,000 times. Rising Star presents I Met Jesus. The pre-NFT collection features the world's most expensive photograph called Church Grounds, along with billion-dollar digital images of incredible spiritual quality and significance. Rising Star, the innovative house based in New York City, presents the timeless art collection entitled I Met Jesus, which includes several limited sub-collections. The main director of Rising Star is James Dennis, and he carefully curated this timeless collection. A Rising Star spokesperson said, "The work is the result of years of curation and divine alignment. It's an honor to help revive the church in a way that is unique from the norm." You can learn more about the world's most expensive photograph by going to Mena FM and searching for I Met Jesus. And stay tuned for the collection called Jesus Showed Me a Split Sea. Secure this digital asset today.
He said, she heard. These guys are a riot.
And the Zeppelins are still sitting in my stomach.
I love the quirky comedy.
What? We're like squatters.
The music.
In California, there's many dumb lows.
And now I can wear the show. Wow! That's right, I just bought some He Said, She Heard merchandise. I got a t-shirt, so beautiful, a mask.
Who's that?
A tank top.
She's smoking hot!
Thank you. Because on TeePublic, there's a sale going on. Did you see that? Head over to www.hesaidSheheard.com and click on Shop Now.
Vámonos.
Nom 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 nom.
Honey, let's go.
That's www.hesaidSheheard.com and click on Shop Now.
I got 3, 4, 5, oh now, that's too many. I got too many suitors in this town. Well, they think they know, and they won't. They think they know, and they'll do anything to get it. Yeah, they know they
I
know.
feel like I was in almost every bar I've ever played.
Really? So I know you play Kentucky, but have you gone further south before? Have you performed over there in front of those types of bars?
Yeah, that's in 2 months I'm moving to the great state of Texas.
Oh, you're moving to Texas. Let me guess.
Yeah.
You moving to Austin? Or
No.
What part of Texas you moving to? Are you gonna go be playing at Hank's Bar?
I probably am going to be playing at Hank's Bar, opening their hearts and minds. Conroe, Texas. But yeah, I
Conroe.
mean, I find the South has been way more down with the sickness than the North. The Northern people are too tight to wonk.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, I'm in Pennsylvania, and yeah, I feel like this is my second time living in this state. It was desperation that resulted in me moving here because I'm in the eastern part. I used to live in the western part, which for years this section of the state would call it Pennsyltucky. But it's booming now in that part in Pittsburgh where I used to live. But I'm over in the eastern section now. And my wife and I, we were living in the New York, New Jersey area, so we had moved here because it was cheaper. But I do notice that sometimes this particular part of the North, people are a little bit like they see things a certain way, so thinking outside the box doesn't come naturally for them.
Yeah. I think outwardly there's a little bit of rigid where there's that Southern hospitality that they might not I mean, they're a lot like Cletus, right? It's
Yeah,
like
well,
they might
Cletus.
not be into it, but they're like, all right, you can
could
stay
get
for a
down with this.
while. Yeah. I'm not going to tell my friends.
I don't know. Did you ever hear about that project Garth did back in the early, late 90s, early 2000s? He recorded that album, and you see him. He has like a soul patch on the cover. It says Garth Brooks and the Life of Chris Gaines. And when I listened to this, I was like, this is so cool. This is so funky. And he did a couple country songs on it, but he was doing pop and rock. And I was like, I can't wait for this movie to come out. This is going to be such but Nashville was not hearing it. They were like, "Oh, you got some alter ego going on here. What's going on?" And I thought, "Oh, come on." So because of that response, even though one of the singles called Lost and you did pretty well in the Billboard charts, they were just like they thought Garth was having like a personality crisis or something, and it wasn't. It was all part of an acting gig that he was signed on for. So I was really bummed. Yeah, it's art.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't realize. I know growing up, I was into punk and metal. I still am, and basement shows. And it was a big thing where you're like, man, so-and-so sold out.
Yeah.
And then when you really get to this point and recognize that that's what happens, is it washes you in this part of like, I feel like I've been doing Wonky Tonk for a really long time, and I'm certain that if I would have let it be genre and whitewashed,
Yes.
and become what people have already understood to understand, that I probably wouldn't be such a hustler anymore, right? Things would be pretty, but I'd also just look back on my life being like, ooh, I don't want to be a Garth Brooks, because look what happened to him. It's like when I moved to Denmark, I told everybody, they're like, what goes on in America? And I just played them Friends in Low Places. I said, every song in America sounds like this.
Yeah, Friends in Low Places.
They were like, I'm not into that. I said, all right.
Yeah.
Garth. Interesting. That is a bummer though, because he has so many. It's like
he's very talented. Yeah,
super talented.
And it's not just a country artist. He can do pop if he wanted to. But what I was reading something about it, because apparently recently he said that he wants to re-release some tracks that weren't released with that album, and because he liked it, he loved doing it. But I was reading some Nashville articles, and they were like, "Oh, Garth Brooks is bringing his alter ego back again. Here we go again." But it's funny that they do that, because you do hear in some modern country, they do cross over a little bit into pop as well. You do hear a little bit of, especially with like Keith Urban, those musicians, these songs, you can dance to them at a, run of the mill, dance club. I don't know what the young people do these days, but yeah, you can still get your groove onto that type of music. It doesn't have to be at a Texas Roadhouse.
Right. I think I feel like one of the beauties of technology and all the things happening right now is that sort of genre meld and freedom is now sort of the sales pitch, that's kind of like we're being sold sort of novelty, but it also allows us to open up and try out new things. And so those genre melds are pretty cool now. So maybe Garth it's time for his alter ego to come back. It might be time.
Yeah, because the world's thinking differently now. I think the pandemic really it created this innovative age, and I kind of knew 10 years ago things were gonna change. People were gonna start innovating, but I never thought that a pandemic would motivate people, because you all of a sudden saw people weren't touring, so they started spending more time in the studio. Was that I'm assuming that's what happened with you when you realized, I can't go out gigging, let me just innovate, let me create, and let me just go deeper. Was that your journey throughout these last 2 years?
Interesting notion. When I left for Ecuador, I left in January 3rd of 2020.
Okay.
And I was supposed to come back in March, and everything got shut down, and I didn't come back till November. And then so sitting there, I was on a mountain, and luckily for some reason I was on the one mountain that had a luthier who brought a guitar down, because I didn't have I had given my ukulele away to a lady who went back
Wow.
to Germany, and thinking, we're leaving in a week, and then it shut down. And luckily there's a luthier, brought me this guitar. And at that point, my grandma got really sick, and then over the last year taking care of her, and then death and destruction. And so music became that innovation changed for me in a lot of different ways, because I was in a third world country singing mantras at a tantric yoga school, you know? And so the innovation more came into just shedding any, at that point, my Facebook had gotten hacked too.
Wow.
And it was kind of this grand release of, you know, Facebook became for musicians, like most venues at a certain point were like, we'll only book you if you have this many likes on Facebook. And it without any, that was like the caliber in which you could get into venues. And
Wow.
and so this like this thing that you cultivate over time gets hacked and you have no control over it, and all the things you put into it not there. So it was this beautiful release of like, I went to Ecuador to rekindle my relationship with music, right? Because the industry had screwed everything up, and I allowed it because I got lost. And that those last 2 years really helped in that innovation in a way of not the same way. The live streaming and all of the things, I'm excited that other people did, but now it's kind of, I think it all sort of just built up, and it's a whole different world. I'm always in a different world than most people, especially in the music world. So yes and no. Like what you're asking, no, but yes. You know what I mean? It's innovation in a whole different way, like from the soul, like figuring out how to use my stomach and like sing from a certain place that I used to. The words just came out, but now my voice is the instrument, which would have never happened had it not been for a pandemic time, shutting things down to really go inward, which is really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That is. So like when your process of writing a song, could you just be going about your day, taking care of business, and then all of a sudden this melody comes in to your brain, into your soul, into your heart, and you just say, wait, I got to stop what I'm doing. And then do you start recording yourself on the phone with the recorder to say, yeah, I got this, and then later you just go to town? Is that what your process is like?
Almost. I liken it to when you really know you have to poop. And you're just like, I know it's coming. I need to find a toilet soon. And that happens all day long, right? And they just fall out. Like it's not melody, it's not just words. I find when I'm having to work on things separately, that does it. They come together. And so I'll just be like, all right, it's coming. I gotta find toilet. And I've on my iPhone, you can put the voice memo on like the main screen now, which is like amazing. And so I've got, I mean, thousands and thousands of voice memos that some might call demos, but they're like full on songs.
Wow.
Whether they be full like formulaic pop songs that fall out, but lately it's been sort of like freestyle jazz Townes Van Zandt exploration, right? Of just like psyche. And so they just fall out, but they fall out all the time. And it's never that it's a melody. It's just like, it's not that I have an idea. It's not that I heard a thing. It's just that like, I need to find a toilet, AKA guitar. I pick up the guitar and I just start playing and it just comes out. And it's like, there's one. Sometimes I'll write, that's a hit. Sometimes I'll be like, come back to this, you know, that maybe it just needs a little more maturity, but most of the time it's just, which is crazy and awesome.
That is crazy and awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for sharing that process with
Thanks
us.
for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always curious how songwriters come up with their process and of creating music, and I always love hearing it describe it organically, like you just did. Is that you on that sticker there on your microphone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love how you got it branded. That's so cool.
Thank you. I was appreciating all of your ceiling brands.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got a few classics here. This one in the back with the construction work. When I started this podcast back in 2020, I was just doing it in Australian accents because years ago when I went to the land down under, I loved their humor, and so I had this idea. A coworker of mine who works with me at my day job, he wanted to play a character playing this construction worker, and he's just eating everything on site. And so we just had fun with that episode. And then another friend of mine who was a stand-up comic, I have him come in there and he's playing the black version of Colonel Sanders. But over time, I guess, the show evolved, and then I added interview segments, and that's been very exciting. I enjoy talking to people, especially musicians. So Wonky Tonk, where can people find you?
I always say if you just Google Wonky Tonk, all of my faces come up.
They do. I was able to do a lot of my research by looking up.
Thank you for looking.
Of course.
I feel like it's all out there, and people really, to me, I love to do the research and look in multiple places. And a lot of people just are like, here's an Instagram, this is all it is. And it's like, if you just look, there's so much, the breadth is there and the information is there. I love to Google myself and just be like, whoa, I didn't even know that came out,
Yeah.
When was that? Who did that? It's a really cool, strange portal.
It is.
Yeah.
I love your website. I think it's wonkytonkmusic.com.
Yes.
That's where I was able to discover, and I did download a song, and I plan on downloading some more, by the way.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. No, I love your music. What's the latest album that you got out there that people can stream or listen to?
During the pandemic, the quarantine's beginning, 4/24/20, Lessons and Lovers came out.
Lessons and Lovers.
And on par for that, around that same time this year, so April of 2022, we've got Breaking Patterns coming out, which is, I'll send you some sneak peeks. It's a fun it's an electronic world, because from here we're going into Flaming Lips kind of world and Pixies world. It's a whole new universe. But yeah, Lessons and Lovers.
I can't wait to get into that one, definitely. But Lessons and Lovers, I'm still listening to the whole thing, and great album, everybody. Got to check out Wonky Tonk. You're going to get hooked. I'm just letting everybody know that's what's going to happen when they start listening to your music, because that's what's happened to me. You dive in and you can't get out. So that's what you've done to me. And that's what's going to happen to all our listeners / viewers watching, listening from all over the world, because I think the whole world can connect with you. I really do, especially since you're well-traveled. You travel a lot, so you see what's going on over there and you get inspiration from what's going on over there. So that's pretty cool.
It's really cool. I'm grateful. I'm really excited to see and witness the rest of your creations and see how this podcast rounds out in these magical ways. That's my favorite part, is someone who's willing to just see the stuff around and how they can play with it, and also play with it, right? And then make it into reality. That's art. That's love. That's life.
Yeah. Well, that's what I aim with the podcast. Now that you bring that up, is that since most podcast interviews are what's in most of them, or they're informational, but I want to give that, but also I want to entertain people. That's where the skits come in. And that's why I wanted to experiment a little bit with this episode. I thought, why not I have the guest be the star as well in the skit? So it was really cool being able to experiment with that, twirl with that, and I'm glad it worked out.
Me too. I'm grateful that was your experiment. That's one of the things, not ranting about it, but one of the things for Wonky Tonk, figuring out that Wonky Tonk is more of a movement. And one of the things that I call it is a playground. And like the part that happens is that when I can open myself up in my vulnerability and just like make art from it in real time for folks to witness, but not as the performance, as just happening, it allows space for other people to trust their crazy ideas, right? And then jump into it. And so when you're saying this, like even beyond just you flowing with your feeling, this ability to be like, hey, I was thinking about experimenting, let's try it with this. Like, yeah, it's without even trying, this kind of just that part. When I work with photographers, when I work with other musicians, when I work with anyone, I'm like, I want to co-create, but like the number one rule is you have to have fun. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
this joyous thing, but you gotta have fun. If it's pain, then what are we doing? And
It's got to
two,
be fun.
right? And grow. Can you grow? How do you grow? What are the crazy things you've always wanted to do, but thought it was a little weird or someone wouldn't understand? I want to do that, and I'll meet you in the middle, like
Yes.
always. And so you explaining that. Thank you. I'm
Oh,
so
you're
excited.
welcome. And the people that you worked with in the skit, the actress, she's actually British, believe it or not. But I asked her, can you do a country accent? She said, yeah.
She's
And
great.
yeah, she was great. And she also sang too. And she also did the artwork too. She drew you, me, Mattia, and herself.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. I'm just blown away. So it's always nice to kind of have this as like an international platform,
Yeah.
because that's the idea. It's like I think globally. I don't just think of just one nation, I think one world, because I think that's also kind of how the pandemic has made people think. They see we're all connected, and that's kind of what the episode was about. Like that song, "We Are All the Same." Yeah, it's like it's a paradox. We're different, we're unique, but at the same time, there's a common ground that brings us all together. And in finding that common ground, I think should be, the goal of all of us human beings, especially as creators and artists.
Amen.
Well, on that note, it's been great talking with you, Wonky Tonk, and I wish you great success in the future. And I definitely plan on, continuing to follow you, and hopefully we can find another great way to collab again. I'm
Yes,
game.
please. Yeah, me too. Always, like whatever I'm in. It's so good. Thank you for having me. It's so nice to see your face and explore in real time through the ether.
It is. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
This has been He Said, She Heard. Till next time.
We are all the same, we are all the same, we are all the same, but different, different. We are all the same, we are all the same, we are all the same, but different, different. We are all the same, we are all the same, we are all the same, but different, different. We are different but the same, there's no need to be the same.
Different walks of life. It's not a shock that we are all the same.
We are all the same, we are all the same, we are all the same, but different, different. We are all the same, we are all the same, we are all the same, but different, different. We are different but the same, there's no need to be ashamed.
Different walks of life. It's not a shock that we are all the same.
We are all the same, we are all the same, we are all the same, but different, different. We are all the same, we are all the same, we are all the same, but different, different.
In this world, there's different kinds of folks, different kinds of shows, different kinds of jokes. But who's to say which one is better? They're all the same, just different letters. Be kind to everyone you meet. Be true to the company you keep. And be kind to everyone you meet. Be kind to everyone you meet.
In this world, there's beggars and choosers. Then we decide who's the winner or the loser.
What does it matter if you step in dog too? It all smells the same, even in expensive boots. So be kind to everyone you meet. Be true to the company you keep. And be kind to everyone you meet. and be kind to everyone you meet.
Hate is overrated, runs out like cheap fuel. Love makes your tractor run faster than a mule. That may not make sense, but neither does hate. Bullying sucks, who cares where your truck was made?
So be kind to everyone you meet. Be true to the company you keep.
And be kind to everyone